Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking here at a 1996 Nissan Skyline. This one here is the Koki edition or post facelift. It's a little bit different looking than the earlier ones. And this one was bought from auction here in Japan for export over to the USA. It's going to be one of the first Koki edition R33s that's going to land there. This is a GTS with the RB20DE engine. It's a 2-liter single cam version of the RB engine. Okay, the mileage on this one is 150,000 kilometers. The body is fairly good. There are some damages, as there is with any 25-year-old vehicle, but I think any Skyline that you can get into the States is definitely going to be worth it, no matter what the condition is. So let's have a quick look over the condition before we send this one over there. I'm not sure exactly how much power this engine puts out. Most of the R33s are a 2.5 liter, this one just the 2 liter. Okay, you can probably see some corrosion on the top of the strut towers. There's that there. A little bit in here. A little bit in here. On the other side as well. Now corrosion on the strut towers of the R32, 33, and 34s is all a problem. I've experienced it the most in the 33s, but I've seen it a ton in the 34s. Seems like the 32s might be the strongest against that, but I don't know. In 2011, there was a timing belt change at 92,630 kilometers. Mechanically, the car seems to be quite sound. The clutch, AC, power steering, engine running condition, all seems to be fine. I'm going to close the hood here. Okay, we'll go and read the auction inspection sheet in just a second. And so, bought from auction on request of the buyer. Basically, they pick the cars to bid on, and then we do the bidding. I'm going to go ahead and turn the engine off for the rest of the report here, because I don't need to show it anymore. I'll give it a little rev before we do that, though. Now, the tachometer doesn't work. That was something known to us when we bought it. Okay. Switch that off. Now, I had the tachometer brake on mine too, an R33 that I had probably, oh gosh, 10, 12 years ago. And I believe you can take it to an electronics repair shop and get them to resolder some of the contacts inside or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Also, used gauges for these aren't that expensive. Okay, so I'll go over this real quick. It's a 1996 Skyline GTS Type S, option rate R, interior C, exterior C, 2000 cc engine. The sales points here are purchased from user. Momo steering wheel. Original steering wheel comes with the car. The car has history papers from 2003, 2005, 2007, 2009, 2011, 2013, 2015, 2017, and 2019. Timing belt changed at 90,000 kilometers according and has history paper with that. Toll collection box for Japanese highways, keyless entry. Notes section here says tachometer doesn't work. And then the report here says windshield rock chip. It's usually something that you don't have to worry about. I'm not even sure if I can find it in all the cars that we see that on. But let me just see if I can find it. Okay, here's the rock chip. This one here would be considered a crack. And was not mentioned. Okay. Electric folding door mirror doesn't work. It's only on this side it doesn't work. On the other side it does work. Interior scratched, dirty, wear, and the seat is ripped. Upper support has been replaced, hence the R grade. Doesn't look like it's been in a huge accident. Both front fenders, the hood, and the upper support have been replaced. Inner panels don't have any accident damage on them. Various scratches and rust on the exterior, and the trunk floor is dented. The exterior is pretty good. It does have some S1, which is rust in various places, 1, 2, 3 there, and then some scratches on the front bumper. Let's do the once around here. Okay. So the Koki edition has kind of flatter tops to the headlights. If you saw one side by side, you would be able to tell, but a lot of people can't tell the difference otherwise. It also has a different, less bubbly hood, and I think there are a few other differences, namely the look of the bumpers. I think this is probably one of the better looking bumpers. The white wheels on here look nice, and a GTS T style rear spoiler. Gives it a nice sporty look. Although it's a 2-liter, it is a 6-cylinder, which gives you a different feeling than your typical 4-cylinder 2 liters. Like, it's pretty common for all 2 liters to be 4 cylinders, except for back in the day here in Japan. And the reason for that is because, like, if you had an engine over 2 liters in Japan, you'd have to pay higher registration costs for that. But the way that they made a car seem more premium compared to the 4-cylinder models was to have a 6-cylinder so that they can really advertise 6 cylinders, but still gets you the good, cheap registration. So that's why, well, lots of cars had the 2-liter inline 6-cylinder. Nissan had it in a number of their cars. Toyota had it in their cars, like the Chaser over there, and the Soarer, I believe, had the 1G, including twin turbo and supercharged. And yeah, that Chaser there is a supercharged 1G 2-liter inline 6-cylinder. Okay, so damages. Front. Now, there are some areas that are not glossy. Front bumper is not glossy. I'll go over this first. Door mirrors aren't glossy. The spoiler in some places. Okay. And this back fender here. This is the most noticeable one. Now, when it comes to not glossy paint, I think that you can ceramic coat it, which is kind of like a thicker than a wax but thinner than a new clear coat. And it's become very popular because it tends to last a lot longer. And so that might help you get it glossy again. Scratches along here. Okay, and then there is a scuff down here. Wheels are fair. They have a number of scratches on them, but I think the white on white really completes the looks and makes it a fairly nice looking car. Some minor rust here. The same thing on the other side. Here. And a little bit underneath the fender here. Okay, window gasket looks mostly good. This bottom one against the windshield is a common one to crack. And it has, you can see there. Going down here, side panels are all really good. Just this non-glossy paint here. Okay, side sills are good. Got a touch of S1 in there, a rust. The rear bumpers on these are really tight to the shape of the body. And usually, especially during this time, you would see bumpers sticking out a lot more. It is a spoiler that is effective. If you were to remove the spoiler, it's a little bit weird because the fender comes up higher than the trunk lid does. A lot of people don't realize that because all of these had spoilers on them, no matter which model it was. And then the GTS, like this one, I think typically would have a spoiler that's about the same height as the edge of the fender, and it would just go across there. Still effective though. I think that they dropped down the trunk height like that on purpose for the GTR in order for the aero to work better. Okay, so going down here, we got some rock chips around here and some rust around the door handle and right there, a bit there as well. Okay, underside has some surface rust, but it looks pretty good compared to your regular R33. And I'll show you the trunk too. If you're wondering where the battery is on these, I sure was when I had one. It's behind a false wall there. Inside here is not bad. And underneath has, let's see if I can pull this up, has some rust in here. You can see there, a little bit there. Okay, I'll make sure that you see any of the damages that I can find on the car. Now this area here typically can have some rust in it. You got a touch maybe there, but only a touch, and same thing here. Pull that key out. Stop digging! Okay, so the Koki versions, or the late model, had a change. These pieces here stopped becoming so peeling. And the later model ones can be expensive because they still fit on the earlier model ones to fix a very common problem of scratches like crazy in those, and it makes your car look terrible. And so second generation's absolutely better in terms of the dashboard. It's the same thing. This panel piece that goes basically all around the gauges and through the entire console section in the earlier generations is made out of a very peely material. After it's 5 years old, if you so much as nick it with a fingernail, you leave a permanent scratch in it. And so this one, much better. Here's the Momo steering wheel. It says Skyline on it. I believe it's from a V35 Skyline, like the, what did the Americans call it? The G350. Seat, saggy here, and here's the rip in the seat. Very commonplace for the rip in the seat. Otherwise, these seats appear to be fine. It says Skyline, Nissan genuine parts. Okay. So AC works, clutch works, brakes work, everything appears to work fine. We got a ripped shift knob here and rips in the boot. This has some wear. Carpets, I'd say, are quite clean and in good condition. A lot of times when you buy them directly from auction, they don't clean them out first, because the previous owner usually doesn't clean the car out when they trade it in. Oh, the aftermarket CD player has peeling here, but has auxiliary in and a CD shelf. There's also a cup holder here, which is handy to have. This isn't original. It's an aftermarket cup holder. And the original car doesn't really have a cup holder. I think this is supposed to be the cup holder, and then it usually comes with a little piece of plastic that clips in here to help it become more cup shaped, but it doesn't do very good, and it's only one. Okay, so that is the end of the report for this car. I'm off to do a few other things, but if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much, and have a nice day.